Please define social media in your own words.
Social media is the use of technology or to socialize.
Social media would be any media platform that you use to talk to other people.
Technology and advancement in our time era that is used to communicate with others.
A series of networks that allow people to connect with each other.
Place where everybody could go for communication.
Anything that'll help put what news that we receive, such as things that we see on the TV or in newspapers, and helps put it into society.
What are some examples of social media?
Some examples of social media would be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Snapchat.
Facebook, even music media.
Facebook, Instagram, etc.
YouTube, Gmail, Snapchat, Instagram, Kik.
Skype or Facebook or Google.
From the ones you just mentioned, which do you regularly use?
Facebook.
I regularly use Facebook. That's probably the one that I use the most.
I use mostly Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram.
The ones I use the most are probably Twitter and Instagram.
How many hours a day would you say you use social media?
8 hours, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I'm really busy, I'll only be on Facebook for 2 or 3 hours.
I probably use social media 3 hours a day.
Maybe 4 to 5 hours a day.
No longer than a couple hours.
On a daily basis, I would say I use social media anywhere between 2 and 3 hours throughout the day.
I would have to say roughly around 6 to 7.
How do you think your life would be without social media?
My life without social media would be when I was growing up. So because I lived through an era without social media, so I could remember it. I would probably be sometimes more connected with people.
I think my life would be pretty boring because I wouldn't be able to keep up to date with the things I am now. I wouldn't be able to talk to the people I talk to now. I would probably not have the same bonds that I have with other people and with my community.
Without social media, I think I would be more out and about with my friends.
I feel like if it wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be able to meet or get to know the people I know now.
I feel like I would be a lot less connected to my peers because social media does allow me to always talk to and know what's going on with a multitude of people at the same time, as well as I feel like I'd be less informed about world events because nowadays I don't really watch the news as much, so I get a lot of my information from social media.
It would probably be a little bit hectic because I use social media as a gateway of answering questions that I have on a regular basis.
I would have less access, it would be more difficult for me to access certain information.
How do you think society would function without social media?
I think society, it could function well. We don't need social media to interact with one another. I don't think we'll die if there's no social media. I think it's useful, but I don't think it's 100% necessary.
I think society would still be able to function without social media, but it would be a lot less united.
I feel like society would be a lot less informed and a lot less connected as a whole if we did not have social media.
Life without social media would probably be pretty hard.
What are some positives or negative things about social media?
A lot of youth don't know how to socialize on beyond the internet.
The only thing that people really know about each other is their names, what school they possibly go to, and very minimal details, which can't compare to the real world.
I think social media has a positive effect on the youth because through social media they're able to see new things in the world and they'll be able to cooperate with new things and be able to participate in a lot of things that they stand for and they believe in. And with social media, they could find things that they believe in.
Another thing that it does that's really undervalued is that it's forcing young people, it's not forcing them, but we're actually reading pages on pages on pages a day. We're learning through reading social media.
Not being able to see the truth through the screen with your own two eyes.
It could be a tool that'll change the way they look at the world.
There's definitely a lot of things that are negative about social media. One of the things is bullying lots of kids, especially teenagers, are really bullied about what they post on social media.
With any great positive thing, there are going to be its negatives. So yes, there can be ignorance spread through social media, there can be violence spread through social media, hate spread through social media, and so on. But you can't really use that to discredit the power, the positive power that social media holds. And that negative side of social media only comes out when it's used incorrectly.